Oh, yeah, you already know what time it is. You already know what is going on. Your favorite cousins are back. Favorite duo is now back in session. I am your host, Cam Silver.
And I am your happy belated host, Kyle Silver.
And ooh, so we had wrapped up, like the first two games of the NBA playoffs. We also talked a little bit about the draft, mainly just about the Giants because we didn't have much time. But but ooh, got through another crazy week of the playoffs. The Celtics finally finished the Heat at 5 after we
Yeah.
thought that should have been a sweep, but
hmm
neither here nor there, they got it done. That's all that
hmm
matters. Uh, the Pacers got rid of the Bucks at 6. Ooh, some things got to be hashed out up in Milwaukee now.
That one
Uh,
should have been a gentleman's sweep, let's be honest.
yeah.
But,
But they showed they showed why they got those veterans out over there though.
hmm
That what was it? That game 5.
It was game
Yep,
five.
I'm saying, yep. That game 5, they showed why they had those veterans out there.
hmm
But Indiana took care of business. Now they move on to face who? The New York Knicks. The New York Knicks. After they dropped game 5, but they came back. They got game 6. Game 6 was oof. Man, let me tell you something. My heart was racing, bro. I thought my heart was gonna jump out of my chest, man.
My heart has actually been racing for the past just 3 to 4 days now because of everything that happened in game five. My anxiety was through the roof. They shouldn't have lost that game, but that was strictly karma coming back and biting them
That was game 2.
because game two, we all know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Maxey, what I'm saying, they dropped a 2 minute report. Maxey gets fouled, blah blah blah. They lose the ball, they don't get granted the timeout, but then they came back into the Knicks stadium. They came back into MSG game
Mm-hmm.
five, and they stole one right back. They stole one right back.
It sure did. It sure
But
did.
yeah, no. I think that game four win was the most important though, most definitely. Like to go in there and get that game from Philly inside of Philly and then to come back in game six and then get that game back that you lost in game five. It shows the heart and the grittiness that this Knicks team has.
Yeah. They game 6, they controlled the offensive boards, which
hmm
was huge from the start. They got off to a 20-point lead, then they squandered it,
hmm
going to the half down 3. Next thing you know, and I believe in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken, they were either tied or they were down, but I think they were tied. Next thing you know, it was a back and forth. It was a seesaw, basically
hmm
the whole fourth quarter. This series came down to literally it just came down to who wanted it more, honestly.
It came down to who wanted it more, and it came down to the last 30 seconds of each game, which is
Yeah,
wild.
no, and then you have your stars showing out with Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson drops 41, a 40-point double again, for the third time in a row. I believe what they said on TV was that he's only the second player in NBA playoff history to drop 35 and 10. The only other player to do that was Oscar Robertson. That was 50 years ago. So,
Now he actually did another milestone. He was actually another player besides Michael Jordan to drop four consecutive 37-point games or 37 plus games. That's
right.
crazy. That's crazy. This little
Oh,
guard, putting it on these folks, yo, putting it on these folks.
man, yeah, I'm very excited to see what they have next in store with Indiana. That's going to be an uphill battle because Indiana plays a whole different style of play. It's
hmm
it's like it's basically AAU. They basically run an AAU offense. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down.
hmm
And if you can't catch them, they will indeed run you out the building, and which is what they have done to the Bucks plenty of times. Only not only throughout the regular season, but also in the postseason. So.
Yes.
So we're oh man, we're really gonna be in for one. I love the contrast of styles, how they both play. If the Knicks can slow down the Pacers and make them play in a half court set, it is gonna be really telling what Indiana could really do because
hmm
everybody knows in the playoffs you have to be able to play in a half court set in
hmm
order to really, do your thing. And the Knicks have showed us literally all 6 games that they could do it. Just waiting to see, if Indiana can do it, and this will be an ultimate test for both teams. But and this Eastern Conference is something
It's
to
a
something to
it's a
behold,
lot
bro.
more stacked than we thought
Oh
because
yeah.
even think about Cleveland and Orlando right now, dude.
That's exactly where we was about to go. That was exactly where we was about to go. Think about it. We thought that it was over. I'm thinking five
And
minimum at that
Orlando
point.
is out here putting it on them.
Bro, bro, they hit them with what was it? They beat them by 32 times in a row, games 3 and 4. And then that they only lose by 2 in game 5. Now they gotta go
Exactly.
game 6 on Friday night. Yeah, I'm telling man, Cleveland doesn't Cleveland does not want this game to go to game 7. They don't want the series to go to game 7. Not at
Yeah.
all.
Because they're gonna end up getting blown out by 30 again
Yeah, I think so.
if it goes to a game seven.
I,
I literally have no doubt in my mind.
I believe so.
They look shaky. They look super shaky, man.
First two games they look good. The guards played well. Big men, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, they played well. Everybody played well. Game 3. We kind of expected the Magic to come out firing in game 3
Hmm.
because, first time in the playoffs in a while, you know what I mean? First time for this young team. So, they're going to ride the energy of the crowd and everything. So, them blowing them out wasn't a huge surprise to me. It was all right, like maybe I should keep my eye on them. But then
Hmm.
game 4 was telling.
Hmm.
Game 4 told, I think it told us all who the Magic really are, and they're a bunch of dogs. They get it from either Pablo or Paulo, excuse me. They either get it from Paulo, they get it from Franz Wagner. His brother Mort's coming off the bench, and
Hmm.
he puts in work as well.
Hmm.
So it comes in, various people. But that Cavs team, man, they better be on the lookout, bro, because if they get bounced around this first and the first round again with this type of team, with this caliber of a team, with those caliber of players, you could forget it, man. You're gonna have to
After
break it down again.
like you guys is like the Cavaliers is the community that they have. I can't think of the word right now. The community and the camaraderie. It should be built up from the last season,
Right.
last 2 seasons when Donovan Mitchell got there. You know, that should have been and then Darius Garland. He's coming and handling the point. And he should be doing his thing a lot more than what he is doing, I believe. Um, because I actually like the way Jared Allen is playing in
Hmm.
Evan Mobley, but I just thought that like they could play off of each other better and that it could
Yeah.
be a much more consistent two-man tandem between them two on the low end, and then you got another two-man tandem at the top of the key, like on the perimeter, in Darius Garland in in Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan. Hmm.
So to see the inconsistency it's telling. It's definitely telling and it's most definitely worrisome.
Right.
Because I I I don't see this team making a deep playoff run if you can't get by Orlando. No shame and no hate on Orlando, but we expected the Cavs to be a little bit higher of a tier caliber
Yeah.
team
Uh, uh, uh,
than what they're showing us.
yeah, I would say you're right on track. I would say about, but like yeah, like one tier higher than Orlando. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
We all know Orlando's coming.
Hmm.
They have a great talented team right there. Young guys, young skilled guys. I think if they make just a couple more moves, then after that we could really start having that conversation with them.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
like you said, Cleveland, it's really telling by the fact that they're not able to handle a team like Orlando,
Hmm. Hmm.
which they should be able to. Letting Paulo go off, for 20, 30 is one thing, but then letting Franz go off on game 4 is another
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
And if you watch the Magic enough, or if you at least kept up with them enough, Franz will go off here and there, but it shouldn't have gotten to the point where you almost had 40.
Never, never. The defense on that team, on the Cavalier team, should be way better. It should
Yeah,
be way better.
10 times better, 10 times better, especially with literally twin towers that can move. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
These are agile twin towers. Evan Mobley can.
Scores like some, not like it's not like it's like how we expect. We didn't expect Rudy Gobert and Cat to look the way they look as two twin towers right now.
Correct,
But
correct.
and like my thing is like I feel like that's where Evan Mobley and Jared Allen should be trending. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah. They should literally watch their games and take a page out of their book and see
That's
how they feed off of each other. Because,
exactly.
when we get to when we get to them, in a couple of topics,
Mhm.
you see like they just, they just know how to play good together. They know how to play well
Exactly.
together. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? On both the offensive end and defensive end. So, that this Cavs team, man, it frustrates me because I've seen them in person and I know the things that they could do. We all know the things that they could do. It just frustrates me when I don't see them playing to their caliber that they should be. But they still got game six, so we'll see if they can close it out. Because if not, like I said, game seven, you do not want Orlando coming back with life. A young team with life is the scariest thing ever.
I agree. So it's a team with something to prove.
Going to Boston. Boston took care of business. Derek White coming alive. You know that
Hmm.
that shows the versatility of that team. Bad news though for them. Kristaps Porzingis goes down with a calf injury, more than
Hmm.
likely out for this next series, whether they play the Cavs or the Magic. Don't think that they would necessarily need him
Not for that series.
for this
Not for
series. I
that
think
series.
your biggest bet. You're hoping that he will be ready for the next series, whether they see the Knicks or the Pacers, because that I feel like more. I feel more so the Knicks than the Pacers, but either team I believe will give them a run because either team is able to. They really good at what they do. So yeah,
No, I
and we
completely
know
agree.
Boston, and we know how Boston is. They will figure out a way to get in their own way.
Oh, they
As,
do it much, a lot of times, a lot more often than they should, you know?
as much as I like watching Tatum, watching Derek White, watching Brown, they do figure out ways to literally stop themselves, and
Hmm.
that's the scariest thing, and that's the biggest question mark right there around that team is how will they unlock it like the Nuggets have.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
that's the biggest thing. But moving on to the West Coast, OKC with a clean sweep, wasn't even a Man, like we talked about, bro. Brandon Ingram coming off an injury wasn't much you could do. CJ McCollum just doesn't. He just didn't show up. Shea, Jalen Williams, Chet. Those guys, man. They look good. They look real good, and I
They
really
look like
like that
some
team.
actual, they look like some dogs.
Yeah,
They're
man.
ready. They're
The
ready.
more I watch them, the more I really like them.
Me
But
too.
I
Me
I,
too.
I be I wouldn't be I'm trying to figure out the word. Wouldn't be lying to you if I didn't feel some type of concern if they do see the Mavs. You know what I mean?
I
You
can see
you
it. I
got
can see
you
it.
got Kyrie who at the drop of a hat will drop 40 on you, as we've seen, especially with that game four, as
Hmm.
we've seen. He had a bad first half, and then the second half he was able to go crazy. Luka
Hmm.
Doncic, we all know what he brings to the table. That whole team collectively, I believe, is now starting to figure out who they truly are, and
Hmm.
they're tough because if those threes start falling, and it don't just come from Luka and Kyrie. We talking PJ
Um,
Washington. We're talking Josh Green. We're
hmm.
talking Tim Hardaway Jr., Derek Lively catching alley oops, Daniel Gafford controlling the boards. You know what I mean? They got a tough team over there. So I do predict them. I think we both predicted them to get past the Clippers.
Yeah.
Especially after
Yeah.
that stinger that the Clippers gave at home in Game Five. I'm not. You even if the Clippers were to get past, I don't see them getting. I don't see them doing much with OKC themselves. That's why I say the Mavs would be a
Not
better
at
and
all.
more tougher matchup for OKC.
Hmm.
So
Because like I just think about it in terms of like okay, you got if Kawhi comes back, you got PG, you got James Harden, you got Russ. Russ isn't really playing all
he's not
that great.
Russ. Yeah, I say he's not Russ right now.
James Harden, he does it. He does this every year where he has two good games,
We
four
already know
bad
how
games,
he gonna give it up. We know how he gonna give it up.
and which he did again. Um, I just that OKC team, man. It's the way that they run on kids, they run on these other teams, and then it's like, SGA versus Luca. I feel like their game is so similar, actually. The more
Yeah,
that I watch the both of them, it's the herky jerky slowness to it that but they could get to any spot on the floor that they want to.
Correct.
So I think that would be a real interesting matchup, a lot more interesting than, Clippers versus OKC.
Hmm.
Um, because like now you got two young cats coming up, and then but you got Kyrie on the Mavs who's been through this type of stuff before.
Correct.
And even Luca too. Luca like damn near made
Look,
it close.
yeah, I was about to say he made it to the Western Conference Finals just
Hmm.
a couple of years
Hmm.
ago,
Hmm.
when Golden
Hmm.
State had won it.
Exactly. So it's definitely that one would be up in the air. But let's just wait and see. Let's just make sure the Clippers, I mean the
The,
Mavs get past
the
the Clippers
Mavs.
first. Let's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
let's
yeah.
just make sure of that one. Let's just make
Yeah,
sure
no,
of that
they just they gotta, they can't afford another game four. I'd say,
one.
going down by 30 and then trying to play catch up. As you see, it's nearly impossible to do so. Even with them tying the game and then going to a seesaw battle with like the last 3 to 4 minutes, it's
Hmm.
tough to do because you exhaust so much energy getting back to the
Hmm.
point where when you do get back, you don't have the energy to get over that hump.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Hmm.
no, as long as the Mavs close it out game six, I think we're in for a real treat
Hmm.
coming up in the Western Conference semis. And the next one, we got the Nuggets. They were able to gentlemen sweep the Lakers. Jamal Murray hits another amazing game winner. Two of them, yeah, two of them. He's up there now. Like he's up there now. That what haven't we said about this team? I feel like me and you have talked about this team a lot all year,
At length.
and rightfully so, rightfully so. They, is something I always try to tell people is like, certain teams have times. They
Hmm.
have their time, and I think right now it's just the Nuggets' time right now. So I love what they're doing, but they did show some tendencies to lose themselves in that Lakers series, in which you should be worried about with a dog like team like the Timberwolves who just took out the Phoenix Suns,
Yes.
who
Yes.
I
Yes.
at least, and I'm pretty and you picked the Suns to win that series, and I at least thought that the Suns would at least make it a fight, but they didn't. They just got beaten down
I
every
I
single game.
there was nothing in my mind that could have ever thought that KD would go down like that again. Genuinely.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, not at
And
all.
and, and Anthony Edwards was
No.
just wiping the floor with all three of them. Bradley Beal, who didn't do nothing.
He was dogging Bradley Beal on defense too, like
Oh God. Are you
dogging him.
kidding me?
He dog walked him the
Oh,
whole time.
wait, real quick, real quick. The
Hmm.
difference, the difference, real quick. We got to go back to the last series. The difference of this Mavs team that's different from before, regardless of Kyrie, is
Right.
Luka playing defense. That's all I wanted to say. I did
Yes.
just want to say that real
Yes.
quick.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
moving back to Phoenix getting just bum rushed.
Hmm.
No defense whatsoever from a coach who's supposed to be a defensive minded coach. But I ain't gonna put all of the blame on him because he cannot go out there and play.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. Like as much as a great defensive coach he is, it's also, the fact that they just didn't look like a cohesive team. And we've talked about this multiple times. We've talked about them being as mediocre and as bad as we have praised the Nuggets. Think
Like
about
no,
that.
like seriously,
Think
seriously,
about that.
seriously.
Seriously, think about
And
that.
we said it from the jump, from the beginning of the season, because they had no depth,
There's no,
and you couldn't go acquire anything either.
we said it's not going to work. You don't have a point guard. You don't have any size. You don't like to use your size with Bobo on the bench. You don't do it and then the offense itself isn't even really an offense. Why is KD standing in the corner? What is he doing in the corner? Kevin
AD
Durant,
standing, AD standing in the corner. Bradley Beal, he looks like unenthused. He disinterested,
a deer in
not put
headlights.
in.
A deer in headlights. That's what he looked like. A deer in headlights. He didn't know what in the world was going on. And
And
Devin Booker, you don't know what he's gonna do on any given day.
some days he could drop 60 on you, and other days it's just like he could still have 30, but
But it's
but he can't finish. He can't finish the game.
and then
It's
you got the
it's a
Suns man, and
shame.
then you got the Suns GM. What's his name? James Jones. He's talking. They're trying to unlock KD as if KD didn't win back-to-back championships. Then you got,
Uh-huh.
you got the owner talking about, oh yeah, like people would like 28 out of 26 teams or whatever would trade for this roster. No, no, they wouldn't.
Fuck.
I bet you mad money now right now that Minnesota would not trade you for anything for that roster. I
Oh,
bet you money that I bet you money that Denver ain't gonna trade nothing for that roster. I bet you, what what we be
OKC, they like no, like
see no.
he was not like he would ever go back, but like
I'm a Laker fan and I still don't want that roster because guess what? We still gonna be in the same spot that we were last year.
exactly, you just have another star, but
We
no
just
depth, no
exactly
role players that can actually get you over the hump. And we're seeing role players come out in a lot of different series now. You know, we're seeing them, and we're seeing like a couple. Like I would say more on the Eastern Conference side than the Western Conference
in the
side, low
West. Oh
key.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, just because of like, teams like the Knicks, like, Boston, like, Derek White is
Indiana.
Derek White, but he's a solid three man, but he's a role
Oh,
player, sort of.
right, right.
So, like I, West got star power, East got the reserves. They got their role players. You feel me? That's crazy. But Jesus, man, I didn't see the Suns going down like this.
No,
I don't want to hear nothing about Devin Booker being Kobe-esque. I don't want to hear none of that. None of that.
none of that was Kobe-esque at all. You know who was Kobe-esque? Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was Kobe-esque. Okay, Jamal Murray came out on the bad calf and still put up numbers. That's Kobe-esque.
On a bad
Okay,
calf and still hit a game winner.
and still had a game winner. That's Kobe-esque. Now, moving on to this series. I like this series. This might be my favorite series of this round, of this second round.
Hmm.
And I don't know who to pick, honestly, between these two. Um, I put it to you like this: if Denver doesn't get a hold of Anthony Edwards, it's gonna be a problem.
I it'll they'll do a better job of giving him different looks,
Hmm.
actually playing defense because you got KCP, you got Aaron Gordon. But now it comes down to who is Jokic gonna guard?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Because
tough.
because you got to think about it like this real quick. Let's just say Jokic got Rudy, and then you got Aaron Gordon on on Cat.
Hmm.
That probably be your safest bet. And then you got KCP on Anthony Edwards. KCP isn't he's a great defender actually.
He's a pretty good defender, but
But
I
Anthony
don't
Edwards
know.
is gonna cook him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, Ant is what 6'6", 6'7". KCP is only 6'4".
If 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 the Timberwolves win this series and it's because of Anthony Edwards,
There's
I
a conversation to
I'm
be
not
had.
I will I, they winning it all
I can see that. I can
because now
see that.
you got that guy that's coming in and he's telling you he's gonna do what he's gonna do and he's telling you,
He
you
told it to
know?
his favorite player, and his favorite
Come
player
on,
still can't do anything to
come
him.
on, come on, come on, man.
When the student becomes a master, I know that's right.
Damn,
But
LeBron out, AD out, Steph out. Huh. I don't know
everybody
whether
saying
to
no.
be sad or happy.
Yeah, I don't know either. Actually, I've been mixed feelings all week. I'm
Me
like, damn,
too. Me too. Me too.
dang, bro, my boys is gone.
All of them. Just dead.
But I think I'm happy for the young guys. Just
Yes.
because like I said, it's their time. It's just their time,
Hmm.
and rightfully so.
Hmm.
Rightfully so. Before we move on to the NFL real quick, predictions. So who do you think is winning that Knicks Pacers series?
Really, are you kidding me? I got Knicks in seven.
7?
Yeah.
I'll co-sign that.
Four
I
three.
actually
Four
co-sign
three.
that one.
Four
For
three.
3, I'll,
Four
I'll
three.
co-sign that one. Who are we looking at? More than likely OKC in Dallas.
I'm gonna take OKC. I'm gonna take
OKC.
OKC in about six. I'm gonna take them in
Okay.
six.
I'm gonna go opposite of you. I'm gonna go Mavs
Okay.
in 6.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna go opposite of you and go Mavs in 6. I like
All
that
right.
one. That's gonna be a good series.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the hardest one that we gonna have to sit here and really think about, but we don't have much time to think about it. Nuggets and Timberwolves.
Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA.
Hmm.
I'd be stupid not to. Jamal Murray is the second best player in the NBA. I don't care what nobody says right now. I don't care. I do not
I
care.
like that. I like that. What you
So
got him in six?
I'm gonna I'm gonna take him in 7.
Seven? Okay. Okay. I'll go. Ugh, man, that's tough. I don't know. Um, because we only got a few minutes. Yeah, I'll go Nuggets on this one for the safe
Okay.
bet.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a safe bet, but wouldn't be surprised what the Timberwolves do. So yeah, I'll take Nuggets at six, and the Celtics. I think whoever they see, whether that's the Cavs or Magic, I think they gentlemen sweep again, at
Yeah,
least.
they better
Just,
dog walk them.
yeah, whoever they see.
Yeah.
But moving on. So the NFL draft was last week. Had ourselves some surprises, obviously, but we'll talk about the surprises later because we only got like a few minutes left.
hmm
How do you think your Giants did?
I I have mixed emotions.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't feel like they won the draft. I didn't really feel like they lost the draft though.
Hmm.
I think they did middle of the pack, bottom middle of the pack.
Okay. I see that.
Realistically speaking.
Yeah. If I had to give a grade on it, like everybody gives grades and
hmm
whatnot.
hmm
If I had to give a grade on it, I'll give them a, a B minus to a B.
I was gonna
You
say
know,
like a C plus,
a B plus,
a C
a
plus.
C plus. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. What's one of my biggest questions? One of my
I'm not.
biggest
I'm.
questions
I'm
was,
glad they got Malik Neighbors. He's a solid, target for Daniel to go to. We all know how I feel about Daniel Jones. That's all I'm gonna
well, I
say.
can say all I'm gonna say is you guys have a guy named Drew Lock on your team too. So let's not forget about that.
Chula.
Let's let's not forget about that.
Boy,
Let's
nice.
not forget about that. All right. So
Boy,
let's.
nice. I forgot. I forgot.
And I'm hearing that he could rival for that starting spot. So let's. Yeah. And I would, if I'm being honest with you, giving 110% my honest opinion, I would trust Drew Lock over
I'm
Danny
picking
Downs right now.
you. You see what he was doing with Denver for like
With
a little
Denver,
bit. He was
see what
nice
he
with
did up
Denver.
at see what he did with the Seahawks holding down
Yep.
Geno for those couple of games, but beating Philly and whatnot. So yeah,
hmm
no, I would give it to him. You know, I, like I said, I like the picks. I don't love them. They high,
hmm
but they did get guys to try to see what they could do. I wish they did beef up the O line a little more.
Me too. Me too.
You know,
Me too.
but yeah, no, the Giants will. That's just gonna be one of those. We'll see.
I
We'll
think they'll
see.
be better than the Cowboys this year, actually, though. That's all I want to say.
Oh heck yeah! The Cowboys just signed Ezekiel Elliott back too. That's not gonna do anything for
What?
anybody. Yeah, I know. I kind of laughed at that. I'm not
I'm
gonna
about to
lie.
close my computer. Stop it.
I laughed at that. But yeah. My Steelers did great. I think
I
they
think
did
the
great.
Steelers, that's a A minus damn near.
Yeah, yeah.
A.
Um, getting the first two picks were for the offensive line. We got a
Yes.
center from West Virginia, got an offensive guard who more likely played tackle.
hmm
Um, we got Roman Wilson, the wide receiver from Michigan, the
hmm
leading wide receiver from Michigan, which I like a
hmm
lot. Peyton Wilson, North Carolina State's linebacker. He's good at running people down from what I've seen. So that's another one. We also got another offensive guard from South Dakota State. Then we ended off with a defensive tackle and a cornerback. So we hit a lot of the needs that we really needed. And
hmm
plus, still, things are still up in the air with some of these free agency guys coming in. So
hmm
never know. But I really like that. I really like what the Steelers are doing. They look like a solid team, new coordinators and things of that nature. Like one thing I've always reflected on with the Steelers is that I've always trusted them because of Mike Tomlin.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And y'all still went positive, still made it to the playoffs with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
With
you got
literally,
Justin Fields and Russell Wilson.
hmm
Anything less is a failure.
easily, easily. And the
I
funny
mean,
thing
I
is,
mean that
and the
that's
funny
I
thing
think
is,
that
we
goes without saying,
Oh
honestly.
yeah, and it's funny because we've done a lot. We've done more with less over these past few years.
Exactly.
Ever
Exactly.
since Ben left, and that's always been the thing that's been killing me. It's like, all right, why didn't we have that succession plan? You know, like the Atlanta Hawks got right now, like the Atlanta Hawks got right now. Real quick before we get up out of here, bro.
Guys, I just want you to know, Cameron, I yelled at the top of my lungs. I almost lost my breath and my
Bro,
voice.
my mom was sitting next to me on a couch, bro, and I'm sitting there with my hands on my head, like, there's no way that they just did that. They really just did that. They
You gave Kirk 160, 100 million guaranteed,
2 years guaranteed.
and then you go get Michael. That is what a succession plan looks like,
Yes, yes,
genuinely
yes.
speaking.
I don't care what his age is or whatever. That's exactly what you draw it up to be.
People are so mad that they didn't bolster the defense, but like I don't think that they're in the position to win right now, and they know that.
And that's
So
the
what you do is you
you
build it, and you keep
and
building,
you
and you keep building.
and before we get up out of here, you want to know another thing too, that I always heard that people been saying. You don't know if you're gonna be up this high again. Think about it.
Exactly.
There were 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. You don't know, you know what I mean? Like it's no guarantee that you play well next. Shador Sanders isn't falling into your lap. Carson Beck is not falling into your
Exactly.
lap. Those are the two. Those are more likely one of the two of the quarterbacks that will come out next year. But you don't know that. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's like, why not just take this kid right now,
Take it right now, and you build him up to what you
build him
need him to
up?
be, and you give him pieces to help him. That's all that's about. That is what the
Thank
draft is at its core is supposed to be about.
thank you, thank you. That's
That's it.
exactly what it's about.
And I'm
But
rooting for him. I'm
oh,
rooting for him. Oh,
yeah,
I will watch every Atlanta Falcons game as soon as he starts.
you already know my game. You already know my game. I've been rooting for this kid since day one. You already
And
know
you
my
put
game.
me on, so
I
come
put
on, let's
I
go.
put you on, and I put the rest of the people that have been following us for a minute on too. So
Let's
let's get it, boy.
go.
Let's get it, Michael Penix. I'm here for you. We here for you. Yes, sir. But that's our episode for this week. I hope you enjoyed just as much as we did. Man, we got so much done, bro. I love it. I love how we getting stuff done, bro. I just love it. I just love it. But till next week, I'm your host Cam Silver.
I'm your co-host Kyle Silver.
Later.
Thank you, thank you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Cam Silver from the Silver Boys. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel and like our videos. Thank you for watching.